All right, this video is for my new subscribers who recently discovered me after my video against the soy boy went super viral. I was featured on so many different channels like Benny Johnson, Liberal Hive Mind, Alex Jones, Sky News, The Right-Winged Angel. I mean, I've been all over the internet. Decoy Voice, I mean, channels that I've just experienced for the first time. Myself, Meme the Left. I can go on and on. So many different channels have tweeted, retweeted my content, and I am eternally thankful for that because it really is helping me get the message out there that Trump should be the next president of the United States. Now, the reason why I wanted to make this video was I wanted to go over some of the policies that I believe in and that I support, so you guys have a bit of a better understanding of like where I stand politically. Now, I do want to say that most of my life I was a Democrat, and it was only in 2019 where I started to get curious about Trump, or as I say, Trump curious. And really in 2020 is when I became a full-blown Trump sexual. A lot of it had to do with the destructive and violent BLM riots, which really woke me up. I also realized how racist and hateful the BLM movement was. The other part that woke me up was a lot of the policies surrounding the illness. I really hated seeing our country and the world, as a matter of fact, in such a sad state for way too long. And a lot of those policies came from the left. I'm talking about things like the mandates, the lockdowns. I mean, New York, for example, was locked down for well over 2 years. And at one point, and again, for a short period of time, but at one point they also had the passports, meaning you couldn't go to a restaurant or see a movie without showing a passport. Churches were closed, but strip clubs were open. I mean, it was peak clown world, and it really turned me off big time to the Democratic Party, and they permanently lost me. Donald Trump brought me over the finish line to becoming a proud, bold, peaceful, patriotic Republican. And I've been waving my Trump flag for the past 4 years. I never stopped. I mean, I remember 2021 when Florida was reopened, and I would bring my Trump flag out around like Daytona Beach. And this was like just the start of Biden's presidency, and I was waving my Trump flag. And as a matter of fact, as an example, I'll put one of my videos in the description. I never stopped waving the Trump flag, but my audience was a lot smaller back then. I wasn't getting a lot of views. And I know a lot of it had to do with the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris censorship. But I powered through, and here we are today. I have yet another of our video. But here are some of the things I believe in. If I was a politician, these are the platforms that I would run on. And I think you guys are probably going to agree with 90% of them. There are a few that I think are going to surprise you. So let me know what you think in the comments. And here we go. I'm going to read this off of my X account. So if you're not subscribed to me on X, make sure you're subscribed to me there, @AdamFrancisco_. Okay, here is where I stand politically and what I believe in. Now that I've had 4 years as a Republican, my views have really tightened up big time. Number one, I'm a former Democrat, which I think is beneficial because it helps me understand the arguments of the other side. Number one, I am unvaccinated from, I don't want to go into too much detail because this is YouTube, but I did not get vaccine. However, in full transparency, given that I am fighting a terminal illness, end-stage renal disease, I was required to have 7 blood transfusions back in 2022. They did not break up the blood supply between vaccinated and unvaccinated, so I don't know if I ever received vaccinated blood. There's a big chance I did receive vaccinated blood, but as far as getting the vaccine, never got it, and I'm very proud of that fact. I believe all lives matter. I don't think the skin color should determine if you matter or not. All lives matter. Black, brown, Asian, white, Middle Eastern, Israeli, Palestinian, you name it. Everyone's life matters. I also strongly believe unborn lives matter. I used to be a pro-choice liberal. I went through a personal experience where a woman I was dating, she got pregnant and decided to have an abortion, and that really broke me back in 2017. It also made me reflect on my own existence, being an adopted person whose biological parents chose not to abort him. It really kind of woke me up instantly and made me a huge pro-life activist. protect 1A and 2A. I really do believe that the First Amendment and the Second Amendment go hand in hand. And I believe Trump is the only president that's going to really protect free speech, along with people like Elon Musk by his side. We need both 1A and 2A. I believe Israel has a right to defend itself, and I believe Israel has a right to exist. I guess that would make me a Zionist, because the dictionary definition of Zionist is believing that Israel has a right to exist. I am Jewish. I was raised Jewish culturally, not really religious. I did celebrate the Jewish holidays, but I also celebrated Christmas because my dad's Christian, my mom was Jewish. I was bar mitzvahed, but I'm not religious, never was religious. But I still do identify as Jewish, and I do support Israel. However, with that said, I also don't think that the U.S. should fund foreign wars. We need to put America first and focus on American citizens before helping other people. There is an analogy that you use on an airplane: put on your mask and help yourself before helping the person next to you. We need to have that policy when it comes to foreign wars. Build the wall. A lot of people on the left think it's crazy that I'm Mexican and I support the wall. But what they fail to realize is there's a big difference between legal and illegal immigration. I'm a big supporter of legal immigration. It gives us a chance to vet these people. But I am totally against illegal immigration. I think it's bad for us. It's bad for them. And I can't go to any country without entering through a legal port of entry. And sometimes in the case of living in Thailand, for example, I had to go through a background check and prove that I had enough money to survive in Thailand. So we should have those same policies here in the US. Election day should be a national holiday. This will enable more people to vote in person, which I think is what it's all about. We need to do in-person voting. And we also need paper ballots only and voter ID. Voter ID is not racist. Everyone has an ID. And we need paper ballots. So that way the machines theoretically cannot be manipulated, hacked, or rigged in any possible way. We need to keep men out of women's spaces. I know I sound like a feminist, guys, but I don't think men belong in women's bathrooms or women's sports. So we need to do what we can to do that. And Donald Trump is going to help us make sure that that happens on a federal level. I don't want to get too much into COVID, but if you want to hear my thoughts, go check out my X account on that. 2020 election was rigged and stolen. I'm going to go to my grave believing that. And that's just what I believe. I also believe that only non-binaries or people with low testosterone vote for Democrats. And I believe that people that are binary, meaning male or female, and also have healthy levels of testosterone, vote Republican. And you'll see me use that line in a lot of my videos on the street. I will often meet Trump supporters and I'll call them a real man or a real woman. And I think it's funny, but it's also kind of true. We need to ban and criminalize elective abortions. Keep in mind that of all the abortions that happen, 96% are elective, meaning people are using it as plan B. Those are the abortions that I have an issue with, are the ones that are elective. I can understand life of the mother's in danger. I can understand incest, fetal abnormalities, the rape of a minor child. I don't think a child should have a child. I can understand those. I still would prefer adoption as the solution. But we need to ban elective abortions. It's just my opinion. I support basic universal health care. Now, that is typically a platform of the left, but that is one of the few that I still believe in from my days as a Democrat. I myself am battling a terminal illness, and I think it's important that if anybody is also facing an extreme illness that really is kind of out of their control, such as cancer, that we have a safety net for them to help them, right? I would rather take all the money that's going to Ukraine and put that money towards the healthcare of American citizens, not illegals also. Take that money from illegals, put it towards American citizens. I do not care what consenting adults do in private. I know a lot of ultra-conservatives think that homosexuality or transgenderism is a moral sin. This is their belief. But personally, given that I'm not religious, one of my liberal holdovers is I don't care what consenting adults do in private. So if you want to be in a homosexual relationship in private, you do you. If you want to be a transgender and you're 18 plus and you want to get surgeries, you want to take hormone blockers, you do you. My issue comes down to the kids as well as things in public. the pride parades, for example, have gotten very perverted, where you go to a pride parade and a lot of times you'll see public sex acts. I'm against that. You also see activist teachers trying to push kids, students, into believing one way or another. I'm against that. So as long as we protect the kids and keep things in private, then I'm totally cool with what consenting adults do. I'm actually anti-death penalty. I know this surprises a lot of people, but the only way to be consistent with pro-life is to be anti-death penalty. I understand that people commit horrible crimes in this world, serial killers, rapists, pedophiles. I understand that these are awful people. I understand that some people cannot be rehabilitated, but I just feel like it makes us no better putting someone to death. And I know that these are evil people, but ultimately when they aren't arrested, when they are on death row, they become helpless as well. And us, we're supposed to be more elevated. We're supposed to be better than putting people to death. I mean, they're going to die eventually. My real solution, if we're being honest, is, and I mean this 100%, for the people that have committed the most heinous crimes, the ones I mentioned, what I think we should do is build an island where you just can't get off of it, like there's no way off the islands. Drop all the people based on their crime onto the island. So for example, all the rapists, you go on an island. All the pedophiles, you go on your own islands, right? And let's say that there's 100 people on this island. Well, every month we will do a supply drop of just enough food for all 100. Just enough water and food for them to all get by and live. We do a drop, and whatever happens, happens. We let them govern themselves. We let them handle their own business. They'll have bare necessities when it comes to shelters. You could have even monthly doctor visits to the island to take care of some of the patients that might be suffering from an illness, because we want to be, somewhat humane. But to me, this would be a great solution, which is probably much cheaper for the taxpayer. Put them all on an island and let them figure it out and just give them enough that they can survive. Although I'm not religious myself, I think religion is important for society. It gives us guidance, structure. It also increases people to be more law-abiding. It increases marriage rates, which is good for children. So I support all my brothers and sisters that are religious, even if I myself am not. I think religion is good for society. I think we need to hire armed veterans to protect our schools. Also should consider arming teachers, training them how to use a gun. I saw some schools have signs that say, this school is heavily guarded by guns. If you do anything to hurt our kids, we are going to destroy you. Every school should have that sign, and every school should have armed guards. We use guns to protect everything in society. Why not protect our kids with guns? And that is pretty much where I stand on most mainstream platforms today, most mainstream topics. So let me know what you guys agree on, what you guys disagree with. I think you guys probably agree with 90% of where I come from. But that's a quick overview of who I am. If you're new to my channel, I wanted to just make sure that you had an idea. And yeah, I'm really thankful to have a lot of new subscribers, new followers. I appreciate you guys. And please share my channel. Obviously, I am shadow banned on most platforms. So the only way that I get to grow is through word of mouth. And if you guys do want to support my work, my health battle against kidney failure, GiveSendGo.com/Adam Francisco. I'm the only man fighting a terminal illness while still fighting for this country, the Constitution, and Donald J. Trump. And if anyone is interested in seeing if they could be a live donor, you can contact me on Facebook, Instagram, or X, and I can send you the link to submit an application to see if you're a fit for me. Well, that's going to wrap it up today. Just wanted to film a quick video for you guys. Any questions, drop them in the comments. You want to get in touch with me, Facebook, Instagram, X are going to be your 3 best bets. And I'm a huge dog lover. I have 4 dogs now. My 2 dogs, Sunlight and Cloud, made babies. And their names are Moon and Sky. So I have a great big family now. I love my dogs to death. And I just pray every day that I get a kidney so I could start the next phase of my life, which is to move to the Philippines, to find a wife, a baby mama, and start to make babies. I'm a little bit old. I'm 41. I've wanted to have babies for the last couple of years, but unfortunately, I have to battle kidney disease first before and get a transplant before I can actually start that next chapter of my life. But that is the plan, is to get out to the Philippines post-transplant and find a beautiful wife-to-be and make 1 or 2 babies as quickly as possible, and then see where my life goes after that. All right, guys, thanks for watching my channel. I appreciate you. And as always, God bless Trump.